What is up, everybody? Welcome back into Breaking Boards. In today's episode, we're going to jump in some best ball drafts over on Underdog Fantasy. Going to jump into, I believe it's called the Big Board. Played a few lineups in this last year, hoping to run it back for the 2026 season. But glad you all could join me. If this is your first time in, please hit the like on the video if you get something out of the content and subscribe to the channel. Going to be putting up best ball drafts all the way throughout the rest of the offseason as we head up to the 2026 NFL season. We'll be dropping some insights along the way as well. If you're taking a look at your screen right now, you will see the wall of lame. What this is for the 2026 season, it's going to be the names that I view in the top 100-ish picks as I view them a round or two lower than where they are currently going. And we'll talk about each one of these players in a minute. But before we get into those players, again, I just wanted to take a second to thank you all for being here. Hopefully you get something out of the content, and we'll jump into a draft here shortly. Looking at the wall of lame for the 2026 season and just giving my insight on these players. First up here on the screen, if you're not looking at it, is Rashee Rice for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is more of an indictment on a combination of things, right? The last two seasons, Rashee Rice has played a combined 12 games due to injuries and some freak things. I know Mahomes blew his ACL out a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last year, taking a dive for a tackle, and Mahomes blew him up pretty good. He had a concussion. I think it was week like 15 in 2025, which set him back, and then he had a hamstring strain, and he's had a few of those, soft tissue injuries throughout his career. But the main concern for me here is currently where he's being drafted on Underdog. I mean, he's going pretty high in drafts. Let's pull up today's rankings and see where he's at. But, when we're talking about these guys, especially going this early in the draft, I think he's going in like round 2, round 3. I haven't done many drafts yet, so this will be one of my first few that I'm getting off the board here. But for me, it's just being overdrafted at pick 30. I mean, well inside around number 3. It's just too soon for me. Given that he's coming off injuries, given that Mahomes is going to be coming back off that nasty injury that he had to close out the season, probably going to take Mahomes 4 to 6 weeks to maybe get on the field, and then maybe it takes him 6 to 8 weeks to kind of get back to being Mahomes. And then you have the off the field stuff with Rashee Rice. I mean, I won't even start down that path, that rabbit hole. I mean, he's given us plenty of opportunity to hate on him there. So I'll just be under on Rashee Rice. I think I have him around pick number 50 currently. I'm not going to be drafting him at all at pick number 35. Maybe I get 1 or 2% if he starts to fall. But I'm fine with 0% if that's what I have in the big board for the 2026 season. Next up here, we have Christian Watson, another player for me that just, I don't know what it is about Christian Watson. Like every time I want to like Christian Watson, I just can't. He comes onto the scene. He breaks out last year. He's shown glimpses over his season, over his career, but he's just another one of those players that he just rarely plays the amount of games that you need to make a difference. I mean, 14 in 2022, 9 in 23, finally sees 15 games in 2024, but his production dipped significantly. And then in 2025, he only played 10 games. Now, he played well in those games, but just not a player that I'm going to look to get too much of here going into the 26 season. I mean, we pull up his current ADP, it's at 56.2. I'd be more like pick 74-ish on Christian Watson. You'll see whenever I pull up my draft here and my rankings, you'll see where I'm at on these guys. But I just wouldn't be taking any Christian Watson at pick number 56. Is another team. Again, team wants to run the ball, right? Green Bay wants to run the ball with Josh Jacobs, and that's their identity, and play some solid defense, Micah Parsons and those boys. So I would be under on Christian Watson as well, and he makes the criteria for the wall of lame right now. These names will change each week. Obviously, we'll take some away. We'll add some, whatever the case is, as we see fit. Next up here, we have Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson was another guy that just absolutely balled out. I think he was maybe what Marvin Harrison Jr. was supposed to be before he turned into like Mazda Marv. But now that we have Michael Wilson in this current iteration, I think he's just being overdrafted in my personal opinion, to start this season. Pulling up Wilson here now. He is sitting currently at pick number 74. I'd be more in line with like pick 100, somewhere in the 90 range, maybe if he falls. But I just don't, I don't know what's going to happen at the QB position. If it's Brissett again, maybe we're on to something. But I don't think they give Brissett the entire year, even if Brissett gets the start of the season for Arizona. So when we need Michael Wilson, it may be too late. So I'm going to look to fade at his current price, Michael Wilson. Next up, we have Cam Scatabo. Love the player. Love that mindset, the Mike Allstott. I grew up on those kind of guys. Run hard, put your head in the hole. Full pause there. You get your head up. Geez, man, there's no real nice way to say this. He runs through the line. He runs through the line. And I love that kind of hard-nosed football, but it's going to lead to injuries. And with him going off the board where he's going off the board right now, I think we're just overdrafting, at pick 44 and a half currently ADP on Underdog right now. I think he's being overdrafted quite significantly. And another player and the last player on the Wall of Lame to start off draft number 1 of the 2026 season. So again, Wall of Lame for episode number 1 of On the Board is going to be Rashee Rice, Christian Watson, Cam Scatabo, and Michael Wilson. And without further ado, I think it is about time to get ourselves in a draft. So we're going to get this set up and get on over to the draft screen. So looking things over here, looks like the draft just filled. We are 3 seconds away from round number 1. We are coming up here at pick number 5. If you'll see here on the left-hand side of your screen, if you're taking a look at your screen, you'll see my rankings. In the center column, you'll see ADP. And on the right is a projection that is an input that Underdog, the site, loads up. If you need a discount code or anything of that nature, let me know. A sign up code, let me know down in the comments. Also, let me know who's your favorite what's your favorite pick in the first round? What's your favorite pick in the first round? I think right now for me, mine's probably 3, because I think that Jahmyr Gibbs should be the number 1 pick overall anyways. And hopefully he falls to me here. Hopefully this guy goes JSN. If he does not go JSN, we will obviously go JSN at pick number 5. Sucks that we didn't get Gibbs there, but it is what it is. We'll go JSN, pick number 5 of round number 1 here on Underdog. So pick 6 goes Jonathan Taylor, and we'll take a flip over here to the draft board and let you guys take a look around here. Pretty standard from what I've seen so far. I've done about 15 or so drafts in the big board. Everything looks wow. James Cook going off the board at 7. I don't know if that's him trying to get different or, trying to get some different builds going there, but not something I'm going to be looking to do. Get James Cook at pick number 7. That's not something I'm going to look to do to start things off. Followed up with CeeDee Lamb. I will say that I'm very far under the field on Christian McCaffrey. And just looking at this real quick and giving you guys a heads up on this in case you're watching the channel later on. Christian McCaffrey has seen in excess of 250 carries 3 times now in his career. He saw it in 2019. He saw 287 carries. In 2020, he played 3 games and saw 59 carries. In 2023, he had 272 carries. In 2024, he saw 4 games and 50 carries. And in 2025, he saw 311 carries. So not someone I'm going to be looking to, to get way over the field on at his current ADP. I was way over the field on Christian McCaffrey too. I think he was my most owned first round player last year, or actually I was getting him sometimes in the second round earlier in drafts. I was drafting, back in March, April, much like right now we're drafting, what is this, February 23rd. So, we haven't even gotten March Madness yet. And we already have the madness of the big board up and running and has been for a while. So as we roll back around to our pick, after Ryan 5594 makes his selection, we'll flip back over to our player page and just take a look around there and see what we have on the board. Malik Neighbors, Trey McBride, nothing really crazy coming off the board there. So we're going to flip back over now that we're getting close to our pick. Don't love this range, honestly, here. Going to need a running back at some point. Would hopefully be able to flip it back. He did go Chase Brown. I think Jeremiah Love fits this team better for me, already given the fact that we have JSN at the wide receiver position. I do like going to running backs in the first couple of rounds this season. We'll go Jeremiah Love there, get us a little bit of rookie love going. And we caught a little bit of a falling Jeremiah Love there. I don't mind Drake London. If we had gone, say we had gotten Gibbs in round 1, we would have gone Drake London in round 2. I expect him to go London here. There it is. And we flip back over to the draft board here for you guys. So nothing too off the board yet. I guess the craziest thing, in my opinion, would probably be the James Cook pick. There at pick number 7. And then you have, man, I really wanted Josh Jacobs coming back in round number 3. He goes Nico and Brock Bowers at the turn out of the 1 slot. We're going to flip back over to the page. That's another player I'm under on this year will be Chris Olave at his current price. I think he's being overdrafted given the output that he had last year. We're going to go with one of these top running backs here more than likely, probably either Bucky or Breece Hall. And there goes Bucky. So we're probably going to go Breece Hall here at pick number 29. Don't love it, but it's just one of those drafts that we're going to take what falls to us and see what happens. He was our highest ranked player, so we'll go there with Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall, and JSN start. Next up, you would have had our next pick, which was Kenneth Walker. And I don't mind that pick there of Kyron Williams. So pretty standard through 3 rounds so far. To recap for you guys, we got Bijan Robinson, Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase, Jahmyr Gibbs. We took JSN, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devon Achane, and Ashton Jeanty. Had a discussion on Twitter this morning about Achane over Jeanty. Let me know down in the comments who you guys prefer. I think that I prefer Devon Achane. And some of the reasoning for that is that I view those offenses about the same in Miami and with the Raiders. However, I do think the Raiders are on a more steep upward trajectory than that of Miami. But there's only 2 running backs over the last 3 seasons that have been more than one, have averaged more than 1 fantasy point per opportunity over the last 3 seasons. So they've met that number 2 of the last 3 seasons, if I could spit that out. And those players are Jahmyr Gibbs, who we talked about being the number 1 player overall potentially, and then Devon Achane there at the end of round number 1. Ladd McConkey goes off the board there, and we're going to flip back over to the player page. I would probably still go another wide receiver. Well, no, let me think about this for a second here. I would probably go Devontae Adams first if he were to fall. If Devontae doesn't fall, I'm probably going to take either Trevion or RJ Harvey. There are some wide receivers later on down the board here that I like quite a bit. And not many running backs this year. I think running back dries up quite significantly after this first tier of running backs, which I do incorporate Trevion and RJ Harvey into that first kind of grouping of running backs that I like to take off the board early. I do like that value there with Jameson Williams, but I just don't want a chance not getting Trevion Henderson or RJ Harvey coming back. So we're going to go Trevion Henderson here, and we're probably going to go with a 2 or 3 quarterback, 5 or 6 running back, 3 maybe 4 tight end, and then what's left at the wide receiver position. Hopefully get a wide receiver coming back here if we don't get RJ Harvey. If RJ Harvey's still on the board, we're going to snag RJ Harvey coming back. I'm not sure why JMO is falling so hard here. Be more than happy to take JMO coming up at pick number 53. I mean, that's quite the value. If we don't get JMO or RJ Harvey, we're probably looking. I think Loveland's going to be a great tight end option, but I think he's being drafted for where his output's probably likely to be. So I hope this guy takes Darnell Tate, man. If this guy takes Darnell Tate, we can't miss. I kind of prefer those top 4 guys. I don't mind getting to Tate, but with Love already, I don't want to go like too rookie-centric too early in drafts because it's hard to know when these guys are going to come off the board and where they're going to go and what kind of situation they're walking into. So, and there goes the run on the guys I wanted. So hopefully one of these guys takes Darnell Tate and we can snatch up RJ Harvey or Luther Burden. Is that ADP too? Burden, Harvey, yeah. There goes Burden. Man, let Harvey fall. Ah, all right. Well, I guess we're going to go. Ah, man, do we go? Yeah, I think we just go. Yeah, we'll go Carnell Tate. We'll go, rookie heavy in this draft. Like I said, I'm going to probably max this thing out. I've already got 20. What did I say I had? Just a second. Let me pull this thing up for you guys so I can stop lying to y'all. I'm over here lying to y'all like I know exactly how many of these drafts I got. Pulling this thing up, track drafts, yada yada yada, completed 22. 22 drafts in. So that's probably, I'm probably gonna hopefully max this thing before it closes out. Definitely will be maxing Best Ball Mania. Getting this channel warmed up before when Best Ball Mania flips back around. We're definitely gonna be hot and heavy in that space. So through round number, was that 5? Yeah, through round 5, we have JSN, Jeremiah Love, Brees Hall, Travion Henderson, and Carnell Tate. We're going to have to start thinking about quarterbacks also because quarterbacks dries up super quick this year in drafts. Coming back around to us here at the turn, he goes wide receiver with Rome Odunze and Mike Evans. A lot of yellow coming off the board early here, which I didn't want to see given that we went so heavy running back early, but it is what it is. So we can make up that road down the line as we get closer to the end of the draft. Jaylen Warren goes off the board there. I like Jaylen Warren as a player, but I'm not so sure that he's fantasy. I'm not so sure he's the fantasy equivalent at the running back position as, say, a Cortland Sutton or a Mike Evans. That's why I like going with the running back position early, if possible, in round 1. And then, I don't mind my wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 being DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, or Mike Evans, or even Odunze. I'm perfectly fine with those kind of guys. We'll wait until Ryan 55, what is that, 9-4, makes his pick, and then we will flip back over to the player page, take a look around, and see what we got going on. He goes with Brian Thomas, again, another receiver. Man, the top of my board at the wide receiver position is not looking great. We might have to go quarterback, and come back with like a Pierce, Myers, that kind of range, Quentin Johnston. So we'll consider Marvin Harrison Jr., but man, I hope that's not the shape we're in at pick number 68. There goes Burrow. We probably go Drake May here if he falls. If not, all right, we are going to go Drake May. Played really well. Easiest schedule in the game last year, but he's a pretty smooth 20 fantasy point producer. So far through through 6 rounds for us, Drake May, Jeremiah Love, Brees Hall, Travion Henderson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba and Carnell Tate. I didn't really want to go this rookie centric, but sometimes it just is what it is. Flipping back over to the draft board so you guys can kind of get a look at what's going on. Marvin Harrison does go the pick after us. And then we got here goes the run on purple, man. Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts is still, in my opinion, there. I like him quite significantly above his current ADP. I think he's going to rise 10, maybe 20 picks before the season gets here. Also, my heart goes out to Jalen Hurts, losing his mom. I didn't have a mom myself growing up, really, but my heart still breaks for people who are losing their family members. And we are up next at pick number 77. Probably look to go with, just looking at our roster construction, I might go ahead and lock up our second QB. What do we have going on? We have Darnold late, so we may hold off and go Alec Pierce. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go Alec Pierce here. I like him a lot, and I don't think they have the cap space to bring back Pierce and Pittman. And even if Pierce leaves, you might get like some kind of Pearsall type situation in San Francisco, something like that. If San Fran doesn't look to chase down Mike Evans, or if Evans goes back to Tampa Bay, I think one of those receivers from Indy is likely to leave in free agency, and I think one of those guys is going to be Pierce. So it's going to be Michael Pittman being cut, and they're going to look to bring back Alec Pierce. I also think that they'll probably bring back Daniel Jones for the 2026 season. Love this team here so far. I don't like Scatabo or Judkins coming off the injuries, but I get it. You got some upside in the late season resurgence from those guys, but Jackson Dart, Cam Scatabo, Quinshawn Judkins, where'd that guy go? Malik Neighbors, CD Lamb, T. Higgins, and Brian Thomas. That's pretty stout. And as we come through these rounds here, I mean, does anything jump out to you guys? Saquon in round 2, Malik Neighbors in round 2 for me. Jacobs is going a little late for me. CMC is going too early. James Cook is probably going too early, in my opinion. Round 3, Josh Allen looks good. Chris Olave going 1 pick after Nico Collins. No thanks there. Scatabo at 4-5, 4-4, not good for me. Devontae Adams, I think, is going too late. Colson Loveland, I really like, but I think he's going, fine. RJ Harvey, I like a lot. Where he's currently going, I think Swift is a decent pick there. Probably drafted about where he should be. Jalen Hurts is going too late. Drake May is starting to drop to that point where he's going a little bit late. You have to get 2 of those major quarterbacks, and you have to get them kind of early. So here we would probably go Quentin Johnston, Laporta, or DJ Moore. I mean, we're guaranteed one of them, and then we'll come back with a quarterback at the next turn. So we're not going Johnston, obviously. I do like Sam Laporta here quite a bit, and there he goes. So we're probably just going to go with DJ Moore, because if we miss, we can come back with Daniel Jones. So Drake May, Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall, Trevion Henderson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Carnell Tate, Alec Pierce, DJ Moore. Not a whole lot of correlation here. Trevion with Drake May. Probably try to get Hunter Henry as it comes around here in just a bit. We also have a bunch of backdoors with Drake May. I mean, you have Kayshon Boutte. Diggs is probably already gone. I haven't really been paying attention to it, to be honest with you. We got Hunter Henry. We got Kyle Williams later on in the drafts. We got some guys. That's what I'm saying. Not sure who the Jets quarterback is going to be in 2026. I assume they take somebody, maybe Ty Simpson, something like that in the draft. Maybe we could pair him with Breece Hall if need be. And then we got Darnold if we need it. We got Daniel Jones if we need it. Who knows where Carnell Tate's going to end up. And then DJ Moore as well. Actually, Diggs is still on the board. Wow. Okay. I think we still have to go quarterback here. And then, I don't know, man. That's a 10-pick fall. That's a 10-pick fall for Diggs. I mean, you see where he's at on my ranking. Wow. Okay. We're going to take Diggs. We're going to go Diggs, and we're going to go the double stack here with Diggs, Trevion, and Drake May. I mean, you saw where he's at on my rankings, man. Like, I'm not getting a lot of Stephon Diggs. Usually I take Bo Nix there, or I take Jared Goff, and I keep it moving. Because, like I said, you need to get 2 quarterbacks. But feeling good about Drake May. So I think we can get Drake May. He can hold it down for us until like a Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, one of those guys gets back into the mix here. We'll scroll down the board here for you guys and let you look around just a little bit. Hopefully you guys are having a good week, man. Monday, February 23rd is when I'm recording this. Crazy weekend for me personally, just to kind of let you guys in on my world a little bit. I was watching Fallout, the second season here recently with the wife, and we're sitting there watching it, and everything's going kind of cool, and we're just chilling with the dogs and whatnot. And the part where they go in, I forget what they called the little things, but it looked like King Koopa off of Mario, those little creatures. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the show. Um, so we're sitting there, and they're getting ready for this big fight scene, and one of the guys is turning into a ghoul, and his arm falls off, and he's like, guys, got a bit of a medical emergency or a medical situation," or whatever it was, and we both just like lost it. Guy was supposed to be like Overwatch, supposed to be like a sniper um, for this battle, but his arm just completely fell off, and I got a bit of a medical situation, and my wife lost it. But that was what this weekend was for me, a bit of a medical situation, man. We laid down, so like 3 times last week this happened, but last night was pretty bad. Um, we laid down, and my head injury from the service, which I think I've mentioned on the channel before, really started to play tricks on me, and I couldn't think of words. I couldn't like I could count to 2, and I couldn't count anywhere past 2. It'd be like 1, 2, some I'd make a noise, right? Um, couldn't say any of the days of the week past like Tuesday. Stuff like that, man. So it was very it's always scary, I guess you'd say. We're gonna go with Baker Mayfield here and maybe try to get K Dotton or somebody like that. I know K Dotton's a free agent. But we're gonna go Baker. I think we just don't pass on that kind of again that falling value there. So we have Drake May, Baker Mayfield at the QB position, Jeremiah Love, Brees Hall, Travion Henderson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Carnell Tate, Alec Pierce, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs, and no tight end currently. May flip double QB here and go Darnold if possible, and then start stacking out those other positions. But to get back to my story there, so we're laying in bed. I can't pronounce words. I can't speak. I can't do anything correctly. Is what it felt like, and was having a pretty rough night. Wife was cool. Like she's a provider. Was really nice and helped me through the situation. I work in healthcare field as well, but always kind of a shock to your system when you feel like your mind is going. And after a severe head injury, I've had 2 really significant ones, and yeah, man, your health is your wealth. So take care of yourselves out there. Hopefully, you're having a better start to your week than I did. But things are improving. I'm speaking fine now, other than my normal gibberish to you guys on the channel. But again, appreciate you all being here. And if you get something out of the content, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to start dropping these quite frequently headed into 2026 and hopefully keep my health throughout that entire ordeal. We'll probably go either Tyler Shuck or Sam Darnold here. Going to take a quick look at the board here. Yeah, we're just going to go Darnold. I'm not that infatuated with Matthew Golden. He's fine, but just not my cup of tea. We're going to go ahead and go with Sam Darnold. Going to take a quick break to take a drink, and I will flip back over to the board before I do so and let you guys take a look at who is coming off the board while I am wetting the whistle. My apologies there for the small break. Let's take a look at these teams and see if there's anybody we're absolutely in love with. Out of the 1 slot, Bijan, Brock Bowers, Nico, Waddle, JMO. It's a good pick on JMO. Stevenson, Pearsall, Hubbard, Purdy, Kittle, Mendoza. Like it's fine. Out of the 2 slot, Nakua, Pickens, Olave, Smith, Loveland. He's going to be way too far behind at running back, in my opinion. Hurts, Tootin, Stafford too early for me. Price, yeah. Not in love with team number 2, to be honest with you. Team 3, we got Chase. I like it. Jacobs, I like it. Tett's fine. Javante's fine. Burden's fine. Lawrence is fine. Warren, I like. Xavier Worthy too early for me. Rico's fine. Godwin. It's not a bad team. Not a bad team at all. Team 4, Jameer Gibbs, Drake London. I mean, he's catching some value. Bucky, Ejbuka, Harvey, Harrison, Fannin. Like that team a lot. Quorum, Addison, Juwan Jennings, I probably could have done without. Tyler Shuck. And it's coming back around to us. But to recap our team real quick, Darnold, Baker, Diggs, Moore, Alec Pierce, Drake May, Carnell Tate, Trevion, Brees Hall, Jeremiah Love, and Jackson Smith in Jigba. Probably go Trey Benson here if he falls. If not, I think we probably go with Rashid Shaheed. So let's see what he does there. He goes with Malik Willis. We are going to go with Malik Benson. Trey Benson. Some of you might know him as. Drake May, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Darnold. We are done at the QB spot. Jeremiah Love, Brees Hall, Trevion Henderson, Trey Benson. Probably go one or two more running backs. And then at the wide receiver position, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Carnell Tate, Alec Pierce, DJ Moore. And we caught some value on a falling Stephon Diggs. And currently we do not have a tight end. I think that the current appropriate build is to go 4 tight ends late in the draft and take either 2 QBs with 2 QB1s so that Dart, Hurts, Caleb, Burrow, Trevor, Caleb range. That range. Take 2 of those guys, Purdy, Nix, Goff, like those kind of players. And then you go 4 tight ends late, and you'll see why we were going 4 tight ends later. 4 tight ends later. You got guys like Njoku, Hawkinson, Kelsey, Mason Taylor, Gunnar Helm, and there's so many guys. Hunter Henry, so many guys later that we can get. So that's what we're going to look at later. Probably try to go with Mako Shaheed here, and then try to flip it back if we can with Alvin Kamara. Also, don't hate Tyreek Hill, but I just think even if he goes to tennis or back to KC, it's a crowded wide receiver core there, and there goes Kamara. So we're not going him. We're going to go with Rashid Shaheed, and hopefully he gets some more run or goes to like the Bills and is going to become a great pick. I'll flip back over to the draft board and let you guys take a look around a bit here. Trying to flip through this kind of slowly for those of you who are looking at your screen currently. I don't hate. I always like to do this exercise. Let's take a look at this. I always like to look like would I prefer looking back on anybody past my guy, right? So Jackson Smith and Jigba, I don't prefer anyone past him in round number 1. Jeremiah Love, maybe Josh Jacobs, but given ADP, I think Jeremiah Love is probably equal to Jacobs, depending on where he lands. And if he lands in like KC, really onto something, right? Brees Hall, Kyron or Walker are like the same clump of player to me, so I don't hate either of those. I prefer Trevion to anybody in the back end of that half of the round there. Probably prefer RJ Harvey to Tate, but Harvey didn't fall, so nobody passed him. Drake May, maybe Jalen Hurts. Pierce, I prefer Pierce. Don't mind Dart. DJ Moore, I prefer. Diggs, I prefer. Baker, I prefer. Darnold, I prefer. Benson, I prefer actually in that round. And Shaheed is fine. So I think we're doing all right. I mean, I don't like team's not like jumping off the board to me, but it's fine. Flipping back over to the player page here. I mean, right now we're set up nicely to grab one of these New England guys. I do like Josh Downs a lot headed into the 26th season, but I think for this particular team, we're probably looking at Hunter Henry and going our first tight end. Just because the rest of the board here for us is yellow, so maybe we'll get one of these guys falling back. So we're going to go Hunter Henry here for the triple stack with Drake May. So far we have Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Jeremiah Love, Brees Hall, Trevion Henderson, Trey Benson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, Carnell Tate, Alec Pierce, DJ Moore, Steph Diggs, Rashid Shaheed, and Hunter Henry at the tight end position. We have a double stack of Seattle with Darnold, and we have a triple stack with Drake May, We could get sneaky here and go with Sean Tucker and do a little running back. That might be what we do. Actually, that is what we're going to do. We're going to queue him up if somebody doesn't take him, and we'll go with a Sean Tucker and Baker Mayfield stack. And immediately he goes off the board. So hell yeah, that went extremely well. We are going to load up David Njoku. Don't hate Mixon here, but I don't know. Something about Joe Mixon has just never really done it for me. So we're going to go David Njoku here. I think it's another player that climbs the board depending on his landing position in free agency. So we'll see where he ends up. But next round, it would be nice to get either Kamani Vidal or Joe Mixon would be what I would prefer. I would imagine that maybe this guy goes running back here. And then if we can get past the guy with 4, actually, there's a couple of guys with 4 coming up. So we'll see. Capitulate. That's a interesting underdog name. I did sign up for the underdog. They set up some like ambassadors, I think is what Underdog set out the contract for. So if you guys love my stuff, man, really pump me up. Tag Underdog in my videos, stuff like that. Let me know that I'm doing a decent job. Again, I'm going to walk with you guys throughout the off season. We're going to do some pre-recorded stuff, and then we'll start doing some live stuff if you guys like, the interaction and that kind of thing. So really open to getting back on the wheel here, or back behind the wheel, and giving you guys what you're looking for. I can start putting out some ranks, like anything that you guys want, anything that you want to see moving forward. Let me know. I will make sure that I have that happen as we get closer to the 2026 season. I can put out some ranks pre-draft. I prefer to wait till the draft and the schedule comes out because I want you guys to have as much information as you possibly can. Obviously, I'll update the rankings as well, probably daily. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting 2026 off season. Hopefully, we can get past these guys. I mean, we have a 5 and a 6 here. Should not be going running back, in my opinion, at this point, but he could capitulate. And he does go with Keaton Mitchell. 6 should not be taking one. We got to get past these guys with 4. So we might be in danger there. Although depending on their situation, they might need a QB. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see what these guys decide to do. Hopefully they leave me some meat on the bone here with Kamani Vidal or Joe Mixon. I think Vidal's not getting the love that he should. I don't know if Najee is going to come back full strength and full steam ahead for the 26th season. So I don't really love Najee Harris. I do like Omarion Hampton early in drafts. I think he's going to be somewhat a bell cow, but I think he could get spelled by Kamani Vidal in 2026. I can't believe Vidal has fallen this far, but part of me leans to the guy I don't want to go with. So I think it's one of these 2 guys for sure. Mixon's likely to land somewhere and get a decent amount of carries. So we'll go with Joe Mixon there, and then we'll see if Kamani Vidal falls back. If he falls back, we'll probably go 6 running backs. If not, we might go 5 with Love, Hall, Trevion, Benson, and Mixon. I'd love to see Vidal fall back, but I don't think that's going to happen. Was this through 11, 14, 16? So through 16, we have Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold done at the QB position. Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall, Trevion Henderson, Trey Benson, Joe Mixon. Will go one more running back if Vidal falls. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Carnell Tate, Alec Pierce, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs, Rashid Shaheed. And at the tight end position, we have Hunter Henry and Njoku. May go 3 or 4 tight ends, just kind of depending on how things go. Again, I really hope there he goes. All right. Tesla looked like a boss last year. Probably go Mason Taylor. Gunnar Hill. I mean, you see all the tight end. Kadon's a free agent. It's the only reason I'm a little hesitant on him. Where's his? We might double tap tight end. We might go Mason Taylor, come back with K-Dot and finish it up with all wide receivers. A little early on Mason Taylor, but I do think that's another player that starts to rise up the board. Looked decent in his rookie season before that team was trash anyways. Let's pull up Mason Taylor and see what we were looking at, if my computer will capitulate and let me pull up a screen. Mason Taylor, what are we talking about? 100.2 speed score, agility score was pretty decent. Fine fantasy points per game. What are we talking about? Fantasy points per target. First read target share of almost 20% was slightly better than expected for fantasy points per game. 23 overall in explosive rating. 0.23 fantasy points per route run's not great. So we'll have to see where that ends up in 26. 1.37 fantasy points per target. Not great. Under a yards per route run. So not anything that's going to change the game, but he was fine. We'll go K-Dot in here if he comes back. Just to have something to go with, hopefully with Baker. And then Kyle Williams, maybe Cooper Kupp. Malik Washington looks really good now. Jalen Knoll is fine. I think they let Christian Kirk walk for my Texans. Keenan Allen, if he comes back, is fine. I like Jalen Wright quite a bit. I think that Jalen Wright for me is right there with Ollie Gordon. There goes Malik Washington. Big run on receivers right now. What do you guys think? You think we can push Otten? Kind of want to push Otten and go Marvin Mims. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get ballsy and hopefully not regret this decision immediately. Could be a run on tight ends though, so it could come back to bite me quite significantly if that takes place. But we'll see what it looks like here in just a moment. I just think that we caught some value there with Marvin Mims, and I don't have a lot of Marvin Mims, but I do like his game. Also, you see the top of my board right now, so that's not sorted by tight end. That's the board. So we'll grab, one more of those guys more than likely and finish this draft off with a tight end, maybe running back pairing. How many picks do we have left? We flip over to the board here. We have 2 picks left. So tight end, running back, maybe. So through 18. Let's flip back over to this page. It's easier to read. At the QB position, Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, done at QB. Running backs, Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall, Travion Henderson, Trey Benson, Joe Mixon. May go one more. Probably one of the Dolphins guys. Next up, we have Jackson Smith and Jigba at the wide receiver position, Carnell Tate, Alec Pierce, DJ Moore, Steph Diggs, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims, and at the tight end position, Hunter Henry, David Njoku, and Mason Taylor. Is this a 4 tight end build? I think it is. I'm not really over the moon on any of these tight ends, so I kind of want to have that extra out. And we already have 2, 4, 6. We have 7 receivers. I like Gunnar Helm quite a bit, but given that we have Baker in this roster, we're going to K-Dot in there at pick 221. A little bit of value on him, about close to around there on K-Dot. And so if we were picking our guys right now, we can go ahead and X out the QB and tight end position. We would look something like this. Don't mind adding him in there as well. Ideally, this is probably something like what we'd get. Rasheen Ali might see some carries. DJ Giddens could get on the field. Jonathan Taylor was abnormally healthy. If Rico Dowdle walks, Trevor Etienne was getting run in playoff scenarios, so he might get some more run in 2026. So don't hate that either. We'll just kind of see what comes available here as things progress along closer to my pick, and we pick again in 7 picks. Ollie Gordon just looks slow to me. He looks like a goal line back, but slow. And how many opportunities when inside the red zone is Miami going to get next year? I mean, not great. You know, not good in my opinion. The outlook there for the 305. But given that, I think I think Keyshawn Moody really broke onto the scene and proved that he needed to be playing more. I'm kind of glad that guy took Kyle Williams, if I can stop making noise. I'm kind of glad he took Kyle Williams because I was torn. I really wanted to go with Malik Washington or Miami. So that would be our top pick here. And if he goes, then we'll go Jalen Wright. What you doing? Pick before me. There we go, Jalen Wright. So we're going to go with Malik Washington. He kind of read my mind. And that is going to complete DOS draft. So through the final of the board here, we have Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold at the QB position, Jeremiah Love, Brees Hall, Trevion Henderson, Trey Benson, Joe Mixon, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, Carnell Tate, Alec Pierce, DJ Moore, Steph Diggs, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Mims, Malik Washington, Hunter Henry, David Njoku, Mason Taylor, K. Dotton. To recap our stacks, with Drake May, we have Trevion Henderson, we have Steph Diggs, and we have Hunter Henry. We have K. Dotton with Baker Mayfield, and with Sam Darnold, we have Jackson Smith and Jigba, and we have Rashid Shaheed. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for checking out the channel. Again, if you enjoyed it, drop a like on the channel. Feed me up to the Underdog, gods. Tag me, tag Underdog on X. Let them know Breaking Boards is here. We're here to stay. We're going to be making content, and I appreciate you all for being here. I hope you have a good rest of your week. We'll be dropping some more videos here shortly, and we'll see you in episode number 2.